It's Wednesday, February 11, 2026, and we're happy you could join us for today's Jamaica Magazine. I'm Theodore Henry. Today is being observed as International Day of Women and Girls in Science, a global observance that recognizes the contributions of women and young girls who pursue careers in science and dedicate their lives to this field. We'll have more on this later in the program, so stay with us.
Are you confident that you are the legal owner of your property? Take action to secure your property ownership. Get a registered certificate of title and become the legal owner of your property. To register your property and obtain a certificate of title, you will need to provide a tax registration number (TRN), a valid government-issued identification, a survey diagram, documentation to prove ownership, up-to-date property tax certificate, the names, addresses, and occupations of 2 neighbors over the age of 50 who are not family members and can give a declaration on your behalf. Proof that you have been in open, undisturbed, and undisputed possession of the property for 12 years or more. For further information on registering your property and obtaining a certificate of title, contact the National Land Agency at 876-750-5263 or 876-946-5263. Email asknla@nla.gov.jm or message us at WhatsApp at 876-418-5089. The National Land Agency. One agency, one goal to serve you better.
Good day, I'm Twyla Whelan and this is your JS News for Wednesday, February 11, 2026. The UTech Lloyd Carney Foundation IMEC Lab is being hailed as a turning point in the country's growth agenda. The $1 million technology-driven facility was officially opened on Tuesday at the Kingston-based campus. The IMEC Lab will support sectors such as aerospace, automotive, medicine and dentistry, positioning Jamaica at the forefront of advanced engineering and next-generational manufacturing. The lab is outfitted with an advanced metal 3D printer, the first of its kind to be installed in the Caribbean. Prime Minister Dr. Andrew Holness says the IMEC Lab provides endless possibilities to solve complex machinery issues in the manufacturing sector.
Having the capability to design and use additive manufacturing here gives us another layer of security. This is an investment in our capability and capacity to grow.
UTech says a module has already been created and starting next semester, mechanical and industrial students will be able to access the IMEC Lab. Fundamental additive manufacturing modules will also be available to students across all disciplines, while basic, intermediate and advanced level short courses will be offered through the UTech Open Campus School of Lifelong Learning.
I have seen where students have been empowered to explore freely and to create real-world solutions. It's deeply gratifying to see such a space now firmly established right here at UTech.
This is an opportunity for us to show how private sector can work with government institutions. We hope this is a roadmap for others to follow.
In May of 2023, Ambassador Lloyd Carney was appointed by Prime Minister Holness as a special investment envoy for technology to drive economic growth and position Jamaica for the 4th Industrial Revolution. Government is closely monitoring the fuel situation in Cuba and its impact on Jamaican students as disruptions continue to affect classes at some institutions. Minister of Foreign Affairs and Foreign Trade, Senator Kamina Johnson-Smith, says more than 300 Jamaican students are currently studying in Cuba. Of that number, 44 are recipients of the Jamaica-Cuba Government Scholarship, while 256 are self-funded. Addressing this morning's post-cabinet press briefing, the minister revealed that some institutions had suspended classes, while others had closed, and some have moved to virtual delivery.
So far as we're advised, under the scholarship program, there is one institution which has suspended its classes, and that affects 6 students under the scholarship program, but they are awaiting further advice regarding recommencement of classes. We've also been advised that 13 privately funded students, private students, have taken the decision to return home.
Outlining measures taken by the ministry in response to the situation, Minister Johnson Smith says a WhatsApp group has been created to facilitate easier communication with the student cohort.
The embassy contacted students and encouraged them to consult with their academic institutions on how their program might be affected by the disruptions and in the event of sudden interruption. Further, we encourage them, and we continue to encourage them, to consult with their parents or guardians on the options available for them at this time and going forward, and also for them to make preparations for emergency circumstances should that be required.
Consular services in Cuba continue without disruption. Companies seeking to list on the Jamaica Stock Exchange, JSE, are being urged to form consortiums as a strategy to access capital for growth and take on mega projects. The call comes from Minister of Industry, Investment and Commerce, Senator Aubin Hill.
Get the consortiums together. I have talked to construction companies. I said, look, you have 3 or 4 Class 1 companies. Stop being 3 or 4 Class 1 companies. Come together. Make yourself into one company. Instead of 5 backhoes, you'll have 15 and 20 backhoes. Instead of not having a 100-meter crane, you have 300-meter cranes. So you can take on big contracts, build them in Jamaica, the same way other big companies from other countries come to Jamaica.
Minister Hill was addressing the JSE's recently held 21st Regional Investment and Capital Markets Conference. He stresses that as Jamaica's business landscape evolves, consortiums will be vital to shaping the nation's economic future. Senator Hill is urging financial institutions to assess and prepare companies eligible for listing on the JSE for capital gain.
The capital is available. The frameworks are in place, and we always will be adjusting those. Prime Minister mentioned some in his speech. Stop being individualist and singular. Shareholding company protects your interests.
The Ministry of Health and Wellness has launched Jamaica's National Strategic Plan for HIV 2023 to 2030. The plan will strengthen Jamaica's response as it outlines steps for reducing new HIV infections by 40% by the year 2030. At the launch on Friday, State Minister Crystal Lee said the plan was a clear roadmap to achieving epidemic control.
Our prevalence rate stands at 1.1%, and an estimated 28,000 people are living with HIV. Our response then must be broader and more impactful than ever before.
Providing further data, Minister Lee says Jamaica has made significant gains in its HIV response, including a 35% reduction in new infections since 2010. The gains also include high levels of HIV status awareness and the elimination of mother-to-child transmission of HIV and syphilis in 2024. However, Minister Lee notes that high rates of sexual activity among adolescents, as well as stigma and discrimination, continue to fuel gaps in service, which has to be addressed by sustained public health actions.
We will scale the prevention tools that work: condoms, targeted outreach, HIV testing and self-testing, post-exposure prophylaxis, and pre-exposure prophylaxis for those at substantial risk.
The launch of the National Strategic Plan for HIV 2023 to 2030 coincides with Safer Sex Week being observed from February 9 to 13 under the theme, Take Charge, Safer Sex with Endless Possibilities. The Ministry of Health is encouraging persons to make informed choices to protect themselves and their partners by using condoms consistently and correctly, reducing the number of sexual partners, and knowing their HIV status through regular testing. Adolescents are also being urged to practice abstinence or delay sexual initiation. And finally, the Percy Junior Hospital in Spalding, Manchester on Friday became the latest to receive baby-friendly hospital accreditation. This achievement brings the total number of baby-friendly designated public hospitals to 12. Health and Wellness Minister Dr. Christopher Tufton emphasizes that the expansion in the number of baby-friendly facilities aligns with the ministry's broader strategy to reduce infant mortality, improve maternal health outcomes, and strengthen quality standards across the public health system.
It really means that the facility has been transformed, both in terms of staff sensitivities and training, as well as in terms of infrastructure to accommodate, to facilitate, to be welcoming to both mother and child. Whether it is breastfeeding in a private space, accessibility to bathrooms, the instructions and the support of the staff.
The Baby Friendly Hospital Initiative is a program of the World Health Organization and UNICEF, recognizing health facilities that provide optimal care for mothers and newborns. Accreditation requires facilities to meet rigorous standards, such as implementing evidence-based clinical practices, providing breastfeeding counseling and education, and maintaining policies that protect and promote breastfeeding. And that's it for JIS News Today. I'm Twyla Whelan. Thanks for watching.
Jamaica Post is committed to being your preferred logistics partner. Enjoy the convenience of 3 to 5 days for international shipments at competitive rates and next business day delivery for local packages. Take advantage of our fast, reliable and ever-evolving services: zip mail, click and ship, fast track, EMS, parcel service, registered mail, corporate mail service and private letterbox. Access customer service support and track packages online. Visit our post offices island-wide and premium service centers at select locations. For more information, go to jamaicapost.gov.jm. Conditions apply.
While many people find the sciences challenging, if you have an interest in nuclear science, today's feature will explore the field in detail, offering insight into what it truly involves.
Science is an essential cornerstone in the creation of a modern society.
As the Ministry of Science, Energy and Technology pursues its mission to increase the popularization of science in schools, we're highlighting one of the many careers that one can undertake in this field. Nuclear science involves applying nuclear techniques to investigate and study different fields. Here in Jamaica, nuclear techniques have been applied to conduct studies in areas such as agriculture, health, and climate change. Unfortunately, the field of nuclear science is largely male-dominated, but there are females out there who have been doing great work and have solidified their space.
I work in the nuclear analytical lab. I started out in engineering and transitioned into this field, so it wasn't exactly on my radar. I wasn't told about it in high school, and it wasn't something I knew really existed per se, which is what we're trying to change here, to get people aware that there is this field that exists and it's actually here. So I had the privilege of seeing an opening and I applied. I love projects. I love investigating. For me specifically, I love marine and atmospheric studies, which is how I use nuclear science to investigate the marine environment and urban air quality. It's been fun. No 2 days are the same, which works for me. And it definitely requires passion and interest because the field is constantly changing. There's always something new to learn, while there are things that are established. Like in science in general, science also continues to present new information, and that new information can change how you do certain things or maybe how you look at future projects. So it requires that you constantly read. It requires that you're constantly open to really, understanding why is it that you're doing what you're doing and how it actually can help solve the bigger picture, not just doing it for the sake of doing it. Science in general is a male-dominated field. It's for sure that is exactly how it is. It's why the UN has the International Day for Women and Girls in Science, to encourage the changing of that situation. Personally, I've never really been daunted by the fact that it's male-dominated, because it's something that I'm interested in, so I pursued it irrespective of that position. And so I'd encourage girls not to look at the fact that it's mostly men. Look at it as, okay, since it's mostly men, I will find my place. You know, you can find, for everybody in this field, you can find your place, and to learn from them. The men that I work with here are incredible. They teach you, they are open to, you know, helping you to learn and to understand. And for me, who was transitioning from another career into nuclear science, something that I didn't study in my undergrad, they were pivotal in helping me to understand how to do things. I didn't have a female in this lab to work with. So males can be allies as well. So it doesn't have to be a male versus female thing. I think it's just to stay open, don't get discouraged. I wasn't a huge fan of chemistry in high school, and yet a lot of my job has to do with chemistry. But I think things change, you know. Sometimes it's the teacher that you're exposed to, sometimes it's just a stage in your life. You might prefer a particular subject, but don't feel daunted by the task at all. Just still pursue what you are interested in.
Alpha Primary School is embracing STEAM education, giving students hands-on experiences that spark creativity and problem solving. This next feature highlights how science, technology, engineering, the arts, and mathematics are shaping young minds for the future.
Let's go full steam ahead!
If you have the opportunity to get a STEM education, then you should, regardless of the field or the career choice. So even if you want to be a lawyer, the skills are transferable. So you still need to be a problem solver. You still need to be able to think critically. Employers are looking for graduates with STEM skills, with these 21st century skills.
Teaching future generations to think logically, critically, and focused on problem solving, all while grasping 21st century skills, is a challenge of a lifetime.
And the right policy to be put in place is to make sure that we are building schools that are going to be empowering our young people with science, technology, engineering, mathematics.
And of course, arts.
Because we believe that that is a space that we own and we can exploit for our economic and social development.
The new STEAM Academy being built at Dumby Holden in Bernard Lodge, St. Catherine, is not where it ends. STEAM is being infused in all aspects of public education, with the method modified to suit each environment. At the Alpha Primary School, a partnership with a private institution, STEM Builders Learning Hub, is expanding the aptitude and skills of children as young as age 6.
Little Einstein's program started in 2022, and it is out of the need to actually reach the students where they are at their different levels, and also to ensure that we start early. So this program primarily is for early childhood education institutions and for primary schools. So the program actually takes place once a week or twice, depending on the need. And we actually take the students through hands-on learning by them creating different things like robots, flashlights. So they're learning the theory, but they're also creating. Hi, I'm Cavell Hilton, CEO and founder of STEM Builders Learning Hub. We connect students to quality science, technology, engineering, and mathematics tutors, as well as resources, including our STEM activity box or science kits. STEM Builders Learning Hub started because we recognize the need to provide quality resources for students.
We have done helium balloons, an explosion, a flashlight, a glow-in-the-dark slide, and now we are building an air car.
One of the major benefits of enrolling children in STEAM education is the fact that it awards them the skills associated with the 4 C's of what is needed to excel in this 21st century: critical thinking, communication, creativity, and collaboration.
STEAM education is very inclusive because it encourages students to do hands-on activities. And the kind of question that students are asked to answer, they're not given the answer, so they would need to think about it. It allows them to experiment if they are wrong. It also gives them the time to go back, think about what they did wrong, and how they are able to correct it.
As it relates to artificial intelligence, AI, I'm optimistic about the future as it relates to it. And knowing everything, you have negative and positive. But I think the approach is for us not to fear the technology because it's here, whether we like it or not. And so my approach is to figure out how we can use it in our classroom in a safe way, and also for us to be able to not just be consumers of this technology, but that we try to also create things that will represent our perspective and our point of view from this side of the world, from a female, from a black person, from a Caribbean person.
The goal of STEAM education is to foster the true innovation that comes with combining the mind of a scientist or technologist with that of an artist or designer and letting it work together for the greater good. So, how prepared are you in getting your child ready for STEAM education? It's already here. Get with the times and help put your child on the map with the skills of tomorrow.
This next feature explores how the Ministry of Education is transforming the learning landscape through introduction and integration of technology in the classroom.
Once upon a time, technology in schools was seen as a luxury or even banned, depending on school rules. But times have changed. Today, from tablets to smartboards and apps that bring lessons to life, technology has moved from the sidelines to the very heart of the classroom. In this feature, we will explore how the Ministry of Education is reshaping the learning landscape through technology empowerment. Our journey begins at the Ministry's Media Services Unit, a digital production hub where everything from textbooks to teacher guides and interactive video content are created to support the nation's evolving learning needs.
The Ministry has several strategies for integrating technology across the system. First, the Ministry developed a national ICT in education policy that provides a framework for the provision, use, and management of technology within the education system. As it relates to the national standards curriculum, we have ICT attainment targets and suggested tools for teaching and learning. As it relates to administration, there is the Education Management Information System, known as the EMIS, and that is used to support our school leaders to make data-driven decisions. As well as we provide equipment in terms of devices, internet access, and digital learning platforms to enhance the teaching and learning experience.
In addition to that, over 400,000 Google Workspace accounts have been issued by the ministry, giving students and teachers access to Google Classrooms.
We have also have a broadband initiative, two initiatives actually, broadband and Wi-Fi. With broadband, we are providing improved internet access across the system. So approximately 723 schools have benefited from broadband. There's also Wi-Fi. We have over 323 schools that have benefited from Wi-Fi. That's in the first phase. And in the second phase, we have earmarked over 696 locations that will be receiving Wi-Fi.
But digital learning isn't one size fits all.
So there are several strategies to support our students with disabilities. There is the accessible digital textbooks. We have speech-to-text and text-to-speech software. These are digital books that are presented in alternative formats. As it relates to school-level support, for example, at the Salvation Army for the Blind, there is software to support our students. Schools for the Deaf, through partnership with the National Education Trust and e-learning, they have also provided assistive technologies to cater to our students' needs.
Behind every empowered student is a well-equipped teacher.
Our teachers at the pre-service level, they have access to webinars and workshops, online courses, and we have collaborations with both local and international partners. For example, we have over 780 hours of training for our teachers, both pre-service and in service. The pre-service teachers, they benefit from online courses. We also support our teachers through mentoring, where we pair beginning teachers with more experienced teachers to help them to make that transition. We have also ensured that our teachers who are in practice or in-service teachers, they have access to a suite of professional development courses to strengthen their ICT skills, because we are about building a digital competent teachers throughout the system.
As technology becomes part of daily life, the Ministry of Education is using it as a tool to drive growth and success for students.
Tech-based education is here to stay, and so there is funding arrangements to support technology use in schools.
Our journey doesn't end here. In our next episode, we'll visit a school where tech isn't just engaging students, it's transforming academic outcomes.
We're at the end of today's show, but be sure to join us again tomorrow for another lineup geared towards providing you with information on the government's policies and initiatives for building a better Jamaica. You may visit our website, jis.gov.jm, to rewatch this show or to catch up on the others we have on the site. I'm Theodore Henry, telling you thanks for watching from our production team here at the JIS.
This has been a production of the Jamaica Information Service, the voice of Jamaica.